Right, here we are. We are live. Welcome everybody to another Heartbeat tutorial brought to you live from the studio audience in the Hearth. Live streamed to YouTube, live streamed to LinkedIn. Thanks to everybody who is here in the chat. I see we got guys. We're sharing weather. We got 46 degrees and gloomy and rainy. Wonderful weather updates. If you can shout in where you're joining us from. I got Lexington, Kentucky in the house out there. We got Southern Canada. We've got representation from all around the world, no doubt. Let us know, where are you guys tuning in from? Where are you watching from? And while you do that, I would love to just start saying what we're going to get into today. So this session is a very special edition of a Heartbeat tutorial, and it's called How Dungeons and Dragons Helps You Create Confident Content. Yeah, we're going D&D, baby. That's what we're doing today. So this session is hosted by our very own Elijah Drown, and Elijah is here as the creative sidekick for Heartbeat and a preferred partner for us as well. So a little bit about Elijah. He's a creative content strategist and podcast expert who helps individuals and small teams create standout audio and video content. He's got roots in radio and corporate communications, and he's built a career helping people communicate more effectively across various platforms. Just so you guys know, Elijah currently handles our editing and social media and YouTube content publishing here at Heartbeat. He also recent successes also include growing YouTube channel by 40%. I wonder whose YouTube channel that was, by the way. So just a cough. Yes, nudge.
Yeah.
If you, shameless plug, if you're not subscribed on YouTube, please do subscribe on YouTube. And Elijah also provides small companies with creative direction, ideation, and editing support for live panels, solo episodes, anything in between. Master of technical production and content coaching. Elijah, if I had to say in a word, you bring the human to content. You bring humanity back.
I guess the complement of content to your strategy and marketing, right? So that's kind of how it happens, right? You have the systems and the processes and all of the things that happen. And I just kind of bring in the content and hope for the best. I think Bo and Todd are talking about nerding out on D&D. It's kind of rolling with advantage, meaning you get two rolls, take the highest number.
Love it.
What we're doing.
I love the references, guys. We are in. This is a safe space for nerds. We're gonna have a good time here.
No wrong answers, no decks, no. Even Misty, she might get into her inner creative. She says, "I'm not creative." I said, "You're lying." Yes, you are.
But I am a nerd, so
well, this is perfect.
I can roll with you.
Good enough.
Yeah.
If you
and
like,
that's the truth. That's the truth, Elijah. You're right. You know, we can put so much effort into marketing from a systematic perspective, from a performance perspective, and that's a lot of what I do, right? Like it's ads and conversion rates and funnels, but that when it's bereft of the humanity only does so much, and so we're here to bring that back into it. So please kick us off, man.
Cool. Thank you very much, Misty, Mike. Great to see everybody, and definitely want to hang out and have some fun, and just trying to get a bit of storytelling happening based on, I guess, 5e, the most recent Dungeons & Dragons version. But if you're not familiar, it is a way of storytelling as simple as pen and paper and your imagination. And the rest, you just kind of make stuff up. It's a lot of, dare I say, BS or complicatedness, but you have a storyteller, a game master, a dungeon master, and then the rest, people pick characters, put them together, hope for the best, and then just roll some dice. That's where the luck and action happens, because then you don't know what's going to happen next. You've seen Stranger Things, you've seen other different variations like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter that have that magic imagery in there, and it's pretty cool to be able to think how to put yourself on the spot, think differently, creatively, and use that storytelling-ness to come together. As Todd says, he's found my place of people, and he's right. I think it is true.
Welcome, Todd. Safe space.
So let's start together with an exercise. You wake up in a tavern with this strange notebook in your hand, and it says, "You are." If I can add a chat, let's do this here. There are a few different character archetypes in Dungeons & Dragons. Todd, you'll know there's more than these, but if you're a wizard, maybe you're playing a strategist. If we're in performance mode in content creation, let's dip into our imagination. Maybe you're a bard, you're a speaker, performer. Maybe you can't sing, but you try and you entertain. Or you're a rogue with social media, sharp shooter. Maybe you're a paladin who's purpose-driven creator. Maybe you're a cleric, you're a nurturer, community builder, wild mage, you're experimenter, an idea generator. If one of those sort of characters suit your personality, maybe you just want to comment that character, and we can understand what kind of types we have from imagination, character, and content perspective in our party today. And if you don't want to, that's okay. You can keep listening and figure things out. For me, I think that I'm kind of like this wild mage and bard, because I'm kind of this speaker, performer who challenges Mike to be a little more creative than he feels comfortable with on a daily basis. And this wild mage who's always kind of ideating and generating ideas, kind of having fun. And Mike, he's the wizard with the fireballs to shoot out that magic essence. Look at me, like fireworks on the 4th of July, just here for a good time, trying to light that spark. It's a good time. A thief? Oh, that is definitely a type, a character type or a skill that you might have. There's that subclass type in D&D. So there's a character or a type or a creature or maybe a human or an orc or something like that. And then you have what kind of skills you're good at. For me, I like to be a pirate, that has a bit of magic behind him, because it's silly. I call my character Handsome Bill. He doesn't know where he came from. He doesn't know who he really is, but he just got this name. And he has this little pirate ship in his pocket that expands out to like balloons, out to just like a trick that clowns have, like party balloons. Poof. And it's just kind of silly and creative. So maybe that's where we're going with things. But it sounds like we have a people that come to us with a diverse group, maybe a stack party, if you will. So when you're walking through a dirt path with your crew, you know who you are, you're tired, you're tattered, and one of you is whistling. It's probably the bard, because they like to entertain, they're silly, and they have this naivety, this confidence behind them. Suddenly, a light bursts from the sky and a massive creature lands nearby. As you look up in the sky, I ask you, what does it look like? What does it want from you? Any ideas? I need Bo and Todd help, because you are the nerds. You're saying that you're the D&D professionals, and we need to rely on you to kind of get people's confidence.
I love that we have seeds in the audience. I love that you guys are here to bring this to us.
They were kind enough to come to support the nerdification that's happening today. So thank you for that.
My disbelief is sufficiently suspended right now. I'm all in on the story. I just want you to know. Yeah.
So does the monster Mike have 2 eyes, 1 eye? Is it 10 feet tall? Do we compare it to a house, a building? If we're in Middle Age times in the 1300s, do we have the modern tech behind us to understand science and math? How do we define this character? Is it big? Is it ugly? Is it scary? What is it doing? Is it God? Is it the devil? I don't know. The creativity goes crazy. I'm not here to divide politicians and religious types. We're just here to explore and come up with ideas that are right and not wrong. So how do you come up with this idea?
The beating of wings.
Oh,
Todd says it's a chimera, 3-headed horror.
that's exciting. You have 3 heads coming out like a Stranger Things kind of thing. This thing, maybe a giant tongue or something coming out, trying to just poke you and tease you, and wondering why it's here. Why does it show up out of nowhere? What happened? What's going on? Maybe it's an algorithm monster, because Allie is really trying to figure things out. So we have 3 heads, a rhino, a wings is what we've kind of created.
An algorithmic rhino chimera.
This is nice and creative. We have our heartbeat connoisseurs in the creative.
Oh, we do.
We've got
cool. Ellie has turned into a rhino. She's prepared.
And this is a rage algo rhino headed chimera with wings. Yeah. 3 heads. Holy cow. I think that maybe I'm not needed here. I'll just go. I'll see you later. You guys
got some creativity in the audience here in the chat.
Right on.
Oh man.
So this is the idea. This is brainstorming at its core, right? This is kind of how we kind of create things and lean into the place that people are shy. They're like, what if people judge me? What if people look at me in a different way? What if my ideas suck? And they don't, because people are celebrating and just having fun. And that's kind of the idea behind creative. And sometimes It's not about being Monty Python running up a hill nude, as Monty Python likes to do for some weird reason. It's not like The Mask, Jim Carrey, who is wildly animated in physical comedy. And it's not necessarily like Rowan Atkinson or Mr. Bean, where he's just kind of doing all these silly things and you're trying to figure out why he loves his Teddy so much. It sometimes can come up with ideas that are just outside your comfort zone, just a little bit. Even when Mike and I have these conversations where we're polar opposites in the creative space, he comes across as professional and polished, and let's just say I'm not. Complete 180 of that. And then sometimes content comes out from creative freedom, and sometimes you realize, oh, there's a polarity here where if I'm allowed creative freedom, I'm going to push the envelope as far as it'll go till somebody feels like just close enough to cry in the corner, right? Mentally, that's not where you want to go, but you're so, I don't know, internally confused and anxiety's flowing and you get this rush of excitement and all of these emotions come at you. I think that's kind of the magic behind the creative essence, where you're in a safe space, there's no wrong answers, and you're just flying sticky notes up at the wall, and everybody's having a good time, shouting and screaming, and it's organized chaos, and then you settle. And then you kind of go, oh, this isn't so bad. But for that creature with the 3 eyes, the 3 heads, the rhino nose, the wings, if it leaned in and growls at you and says you carry something that should have stayed hidden, what do you think it's talking about? Is it angry? Is it upset? Is it happy? Is it confused? Are you in its space? Where did it come from? What should have stayed hidden? Is it gold? Is it one of those scrolls? Is it a song that the bard was singing? I think there's a lot of wild and zany ideas that come from this. Or maybe it's a mystery item. Maybe it's a magical potion. Maybe it's something you dug out from the earth, discovering. Maybe you pickpocketed somebody that you had to take out, a bad guy or lady or person or whoever. And maybe it was a soul that came from a place that we've never thought of. I don't know. So I challenge you to dig into the weird and wonderful and wild ideas that will help you be more comfortable with creating something cool for your Heartbeat community. Is it beef jerky? That's simple. That's immediate. That's what
It's
my
snack
dog
time.
loves.
Yeah.
I love snacks. But can we do better or more weirder or wilder, if I may, Bo? You do have a great start, but can I challenge you to dig a little deeper? It's a shadow ban.
Ooh.
Somebody's on the social media tear. Sacred scroll to decode social algorithms and increase your reach. Okay, Mike, we're still in professional land, but we're iterating into creative space. We're getting there.
I might come out of this transformed. I'm convinced of it at this point. Or we have pocket bacon from Allie. That one's fun. We could do Allie's.
The Book of Random, an ancient
Allie,
tablet.
thank you for changing your name in the chat, Allie, so we could see your character. That was really well done. Thank you for that. So Allie says, hold on. Put her comment back up on the screen, Misty.
The Book of Random, the pocket bacon.
Put pocket bacon back. She's a dwarf druid, if you can see in the name there.
Perfect.
I love that.
So
Way to play along, Allie.
You're small, stout, you're kind of crusty, I guess, and the druid has the magical sense, the powers of healing. Short and stout.
So is it magical pocket bacon then? Is the pocket bacon imbue powers? That could be interesting.
It could be.
Ooh.
It's
So
like the Italian women who are about 4'10", who sound like they're 10 feet tall. That's kind of what I picture in that dwarf druid.
I need some
diminutive
pocket
in
bacon
stature,
in
but
my
full
life.
height in attitude. Yes.
Now, is that pocket bacon going to be refrigerated, or is that stuff that's packaged out in the shelves randomly under the sunlight? I don't understand how
And somehow
that's good for you.
immortal. It's immortal bacon, right?
Yeah.
It does not. Yeah, it does. You can't. It does not die.
We're onto something. If we could have
Immortal pocket bacon. Now we're getting somewhere.
imagine that, having beef jerky or bacon that creates this magical energy that gives us immortality. I think Mike would have. Would that be fun for you to live forever?
We could do that. You know what? I would continue doing a whole lot of amazing things for a good long time. That would be fun.
Is wins too much? I don't know. This is kind of all these crazy questions. Okay, if I'm
Yeah.
going to be this wizard that's 400 years old, am I going to be bored and crusty and tired of all the things that have happened, or am I going to be rejuvenated and inspired because I've learned so much? That's up to you to
Ooh.
decide.
I would err on the side of the taking in the joy of learning, because I'm never exhausted from learning. That's why I love co-hosting these things.
So
Like, I get to
Bo,
learn from everybody.
Bo wants to talk about adult short stories from this giant monster with three heads. Do you think they read three books at the same time? Is that where you're going with this, Bo? This is crazy.
Interesting.
going on
It's
to a
a
different-
it's a literate three-headed
Yeah.
chimera with rhino skin and
Does that mean
wings. And,
does that mean aliens teach him from the future how to read? Like, where is this? Like, this could be a wild and wonderful creation
Yeah.
that is a giant tangent that goes nowhere or everywhere. I don't know. That's pretty cool. So now we have dare I say this, procured bacon that is creating immortality, this zest of life. So I give you three options. You have this giant creature that we created. We have this stacked party with different druid and wizards and bards and all these people that have their different skill sets to come with their imagination. Do you fight? Do you stand your ground and demand answers? Do you flee? Do you run and hide? Maybe regroup later. Some of us are a little smaller than this giant creature. Or do you fool them? Do you try to intimidate? Do you try to persuade? Do you try to distract? Or use your charm on the creature? Maybe you can fool them with magic tools to say you're speaking their language or disguise yourself as somebody that looks like them to navigate your way through. So do you use strategy? Do you use your physical abilities? Or do you just I don't know, curl up like a turtle and scurry off?
let's see in the chat. Do we have the fight, the flight, fawning, or fleeing, right? Or freezing? what is our responses here? Okay. Allie's got a plan. Dwarf druid.
I love that
As
you're
a
all
tank
over this.
rhino, she runs out in front to intimidate the creature and defend the party. So altruistic, Allie. Thank you for that. Misty, meanwhile, is sneaking the pocket bacon while hiding in a bush.
I'm hungry. I didn't have lunch yet. I'm back-to-back meetings. I don't know what to tell you, you know? I guess I'm curious how you would translate this into your heartbeat community. Like, you have all these wild and wonderful ideas, but would you have the confidence and the trust within your community to be able to be this wild and wonderful? Is there a line? Where are you going to say, is this no longer a safe space? Are people now uncomfortable with the creativity? Do you have to kind of baby step them? Do you have to iterate closer? What is your end goal? You can have all these ideas, but it really doesn't come up with a purpose. And for these ideas, it could be just cross-promoting some videos in your internal communications or your email or your YouTube channel. That's creative. People don't think of that. Or it's just, what kind of content are you looking for? How do you need our help to better yourself as a community member? And you take these ideas and creatively, you take them from a wide scale of brainstorming and craziness as a tank rhino. Maybe you're a bull in a china shop. I don't know what you are, because that's expensive. And then you kind of dial back and find that medium to at least now you have the confidence to go, okay, I can come up with a safe space to come up with stuff. It's not going to be so bad. Nobody's going to hate me or judge me. And if you can come with that frame of mind, world's your oyster, or whatever the saying is in New York, Mike. I don't know. What is, I don't know.
And if they
World's your
do, they're
oyster is
probably not your
universal.
people.
It could true. And if Misty's just here to read the comments, that's what she's usually here for. She says, "I'm not creative, but I'm going to laugh at everybody or with everybody." Sorry, in the comments. That's what I do on Instagram. It's like, "Ooh, this is juicy. Let's just kind of interact and see what happens." And that's where
And
your community gets into the rabbit holes, right? You get in these threads, and you're like, "What the heck are you tangenting about over here?" And hang out after Zoom calls and cohorts and be like, "I just want to hang."
Yeah, it's like, so as you introduce these things into your community, you're saying that in some cases you may have to build the creativity calluses so people can bear the weight of all this either off the wall or just different approaches to what you're creating. And like Misty, you did say, like, your people will welcome you, right? If they say, it could be actually a filtering. It could almost be a qualification in many
absolutely.
ways.
Yeah. And in this
Well,
story,
let them funnel themselves out if they're not your people.
Absolutely. And maybe that's what the free trial's for. Maybe it's not. I don't know. However you decide to package that and allow people to experience without, being locked in, however you choose to do that. But in this story, we did a quick little example of something that we kind of developed a story, a primer for an adventure or a party or an experience. Maybe it's a 3-hour session on a Friday night. Did something together as creators that a lot of people rarely do in public. We tried to do something weird together. And yes, that's something on B2B platforms like LinkedIn. People are trying to make this into a thing. But here we are playing D&D in high school or early 20s. We were weird before it was cool. And if you have a good podcast or video or email content, newsletter, you don't need to do it alone because you have your community. You just ask questions and have a chat. Be a little more honest and transparent, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Especially ask the community in the Hearth. There's tons of random things that I would never expect to learn from people. And then they jump in and start chatting, and then they're friends. And that's kind of nice. But in this, I would say that whether you flee or fight or come up with a charm, a strategy to kind of trick the monster into thinking that you're friends, you survived. But I ask you, what creative risk will you survive next? And that creative risk doesn't have to be, again, Monty Python or Jim Carrey or Mr. Bean. It just has to be something else that you maybe not have thought about today, but you're willing to try tomorrow. Mike, do you have anything with the Hearth or Heartbeat that you're allowed to share that you're wanting to try tomorrow that you thought of or you have on the back burner, if I may, itching to get out there that you haven't thought of today but you want to try tomorrow? Or I forgot to sign the NDA. Is that required? I don't know.
I promise I will not share anything that'll get any of one of us in jail. Let's put it that way. So, no, as far as from like marketing for Heartbeat and like the things that we're doing here, right? So like one of the big things originally when I first started was, as an example, so I wasn't doing the weekly update videos in the newsletter. They were just some bullet points and a graphic and a picture. You know what I mean? Of like a quick little mock-up of a piece of the product that we changed or a quality assurance bug we fixed. And then showing up on video to tell the story and to go further to even peel back the curtain and open the hood into my own community that I use the Heartbeat platform for, to show how I build things and to transparently show that to a bunch of people who are equally skilled out there in building communities. That was kind of a new angle for me. And just and being comfortable advising, I guess, a little bit more was kind of something. And so I says for us as a brand, like one thing that I've been looking forward to us doing is just leveraging the new LinkedIn newsletter that we're publishing as not just a channel, but as a place for kind of a unique storytelling, unique combination of things, unique engagement and activities. Any chance that we can move beyond broadcasting one directional and kind of get bi-directional conversations happening between audience and publisher is something exciting to me that we can move towards.
I'm curious if your Heartbeat admins would be interested in more creative content, or maybe we've had enough of the puns that we just have to move in a different direction. Have a playful sense, try something different. I don't know, but they'll give us feedback. I know they will. Whether it's three-eyed monsters or pocket bacon, I think it'll be a thing. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Okay. Ali's got some context here for us.
Todd's been playing Dungeons and Dragons, he said, since 1979. I asked him if he's seen the original house. Apparently, this is now a museum where it all started and began in somebody's basement or table. And especially, I don't know if you're in the USA or not, Todd, but apparently it's there for you to see. Be kind of cool if you're a veteran, if I say, playing through all the different levels and seeing Wizard of the Coast do their thing, the company behind all this storytelling. You can have a book or you can make your own story. It really depends. And similar to I guess if you're doing white label or if you're doing things that are kind of based on the community, then it's up to you. It's kind of cool. Oh.
My 12-year-old is currently making her own D&D kind of game based off the Warrior Cats books. So I mean, if she can do it, we can come up with our own stuff, right?
That's kind of nice with the graphic novels coming in for the preteens, and then they can have more of that creativity where AI, we can laugh at the face of AI saying, you're not creative. You're just repeating the stuff that is regurgitated across the internet, even if it is D&D stuff. kind of nice.
Misty, that example, I think is a great thing for those of us who have communities that are interest based, right? Like if you have an interest based community that's into windsurfing, or that's into graphic novels, or that's into any topic, or you notice there's maybe special interests that are within the larger umbrella of your community, those can be themes that begin laying the canvas. They are the canvas on which you can paint your creative pictures in the style that we've been doing so far. I think that's really cool to think about. Like, there's probably, if you are a community of tattoo artists, like you can come up with a variety of tattoos that come to life, and have some fun stories and talks about it that way. Oh, and yes, Elijah is very cool, Todd.
Thank you for representing the old farts here. Thank you. Appreciate that, Todd, very much. Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Can we try another one? Mike, are you down for another?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Cool.
Let's roll.
So
Let's roll. You see the
pun there? I'm excited. You gave me a yes, and I'm not cutting you off. Sorry, but
okay.
You find yourself in the pitcher's pint, a crowded tavern humming with chatter, lit by candlelight and the occasional magic glow orb. The tavern is known as a hub for adventurers and curious minds, a place where stories are traded faster than drinks. As you sip your drink, a cloaked figure leaps onto the table, spilling a flagon of mead and shouts, "All right, you lot. I've heard rumors. Somebody in this room holds the idea that will shape the fate of our realm. The next legendary tale, the spark of change. Who among you dares to speak it out loud?" The tavern hushes. All eyes turn to your table. What do you do? Do you stand out and pitch your story, your brand, your message, your community vision? Do you deflect with humor and misdirection? Guilty. Maybe you fake a distraction or start a song. Or do you call someone else, call a friend? "Hey, Mike, hey, come over here. I need your help." You as an example. I like picking on you. Share a strength that you've seen in another party member's work. Something you're good at, always advocating while you're lifting the weights, Mike. That's pretty good. Is there a direction that you would take initially? And is there anyone in the chat that would have a preference? Do you want to stand and, I'm scared. I can't be on a spotlight. I don't want to tell my story. This is scary. Or are you going to just find it in yourself, put on your diaper, and hope for the best?
Yeah, definitely share your ideas in the chat while I think through my answer out loud here. I'd love to kind of compare and contrast some of these. So if it were me, Misty, thank you for this wonderful
almost
story.
Got the hair for it, for Rapunzel. So well
you
done.
Almost could, yeah. You could almost pull off the Rapunzel do. Yeah. Okay.
Halloween. I'm looking forward to you dressing up and doing the candy thing. It'd be nice.
Oh, there you go.
You're already.
No, honestly, I feel like my reflex, if I had such an idea within me in this setting, that I would probably be the one who's comfortable enough to kind of just turn over the soapbox and make my stump, right? Make my appeal to rally folks to join me on this idea to make change. That would be what I would do. Let's say if I were to be more characteristic, it'd be like, I would grab the empty crate of unused bottles or unused jars of meat, and then throw that off, turn that upside down, and stand upon it as a stage.
Oh.
And then and just to have. I'm not terribly tall in real life, so I would need the boost of the box if I'm being completely transparent.
You need to at least appear.
Yes.
Like you're an authority figure.
And yes, I suppose I should clarify that I'm the short wizard in this particular venture that we're going on.
Would you act like you're having too much fun? Would you have the persona of a drunken, whatever you are, as kind of a slurred speech, an adventurer that's afraid of nothing, that laughs in the face of certainty? Or are you going to come up as clean, polished, and authoritative? Maybe you have a bit of a suit on, 4-piece tie, maybe something.
A 4-piece suit wizard, that would kind of suit me, I feel like. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Little Tom Ford action there,
You built like Triple X, you have a suit on, you're a wizard, tall pointy hat. I don't know what it is. Or maybe one of those French berets. That could be more your style. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely more of the, if I'm rallying people to change, I'm more of the inspirational, motivational speaker type, but not necessarily in like the cold corporate like B2B sense, just in the I see what the future can be, and if I can embody that or rally others around that or galvanize within them, that's what I would do.
HR's not here, right?
We are live though, so the world will be our filter.
Am I allowed to say pimp cane? Would you have one of those? I don't know how else to describe it. Would you have that with your wizard outfit, kind of wielding that around
as
like,
a
get off
cane,
my
yeah,
lawn? Yeah.
like a more refined. Yeah, it wouldn't be like a Cragley staff, like a tree staff. It would definitely be something refined, maybe like a little ebony with brass inlays. We could do it something like that. That would be kind of fancy.
Yeah, maybe a
All
bronze
right.
sort of thing. Yeah, we could go on forever.
You
right?
can't picture me in anything but my black t-shirt. I do have a bit of a consistency thing going on, Misty. Thank you for that.
So do you hold on, quick tangent. Do you have I see this as a consistency standpoint. This is for Mike's creativity. Do you have a closet of black t-shirts that you wear every day, Mike?
I literally do, actually.
You
Yeah.
really?
So I
All this-
don't like
Part
this.
of your branding at this point.
It is part of my branding. I literally, yeah. So everybody
fine.
watching, all of my weekly updates, I'm in the same shirt. That's because I'm in the same shirt, like the same style of shirt every day. I have like a whole wardrobe of the same t-shirt, so I don't have decision-making fatigue from choosing what shirt to wear. I'll save my decision-making
strategy.
power for during the day.
We don't
On the
need to
things that
send-
make a difference more.
Maybe we'll
Yeah.
just ask for shirt donations, maybe Hawaiian shirts,
Black
maybe
shirts
something
only.
colorful, tie-dye, whatever you have. Just give something. Maybe you have enough personality and you don't want the shirt to take over. I don't know what the reason is.
Yeah, I'll bring it all through here, and I don't need to worry about the garb that I wear. It's all through the power of the words.
How do you feel about being compared to the person that put themselves on a pedestal for Apple? Is that good to be compared to?
Oh, it's very Steve Jobs. Oh my goodness, yeah, because he was known for the turtleneck and jeans that he never did
He's
anything
very
different.
Successful. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, he did okay. He did all right. So yeah,
He did all right.
you may have heard of him. His little fruit business, you know.
Maybe
Mike's
this.
manifesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just manifesting.
let's pretend for a second that Mike has donkeys on his goat farm, and we can kind of call this one
Okay.
something a little different. Where let's set this up here as the moon hangs low above the trees as your party arrives at the shadowy fork in the forest path. Behind you, Tavern's lights are in distant spark, perhaps where you just came from. Ahead, two trails wind into the unknown. One on the left, narrow trail, choked with fog and overgrown vines. Faint laughter echoes from within. Is it joy? Is it something else? To the right, well-trodden path, lined with discarded scrolls, half-burnt torches, and quiet, watchful trees. You spot vague figures, perhaps even elves, magicians, or something pretending to be them. You're not really sure. Kind of curious to find out. Standing between the paths, old donkey, wearing a monocle and a sash that reads Content Strategist. This is curious. It says nothing, only raises its brows and gestures with a hoof towards each path. This kind of feels like Mike at his farm, right? We're getting there in the moon shadow. The donkey speaks, interestingly enough, because we're in imagination stage and no rules matter. One path is familiar but uninspired. The other is risky, but yours to shape. No map will help you, so don't even try. You must choose. Create your own path forward. So, even for the experts like Todd, do you like to hit down the well-trodden path, or do you want to kind of go down that narrow trail where not really sure what's going on? You can hear something, maybe something sort of, but you're not sure. Are you willing to explore that? To risk the dangers that come with that? Or are you going to go down something that looks familiar, even if you chance being fooled into thinking something that is familiar and unstrange?
Ooh, Todd says send the rogue up the risky trail.
So why the rogue? Because they can hide, because they're small, because they have or they're just nimble? I would say the monk would be great, Todd, in this case, if we had one, because they kind of just they're like the Chuck Norris of D&D, right? They just kind of kick and they're sly and they're all over the place. Crazy.
Their tears could cure cancer if they only ever cried, right?
Who said that? You? Is that
that's a Chuck Norris joke adapted to D&D. Yeah,
I completely.
His tears cure cancer. It's too bad he's never cried.
How do we upvote for that to be your new tagline in the Hearth? Can we do that? That's fun.
That's really long for a tag. Like my tears cure cancer, but I never cry. Like that.
We'll have to take a poll on how to iterate that.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man, let's see here. We got options crawling in here. Let's see. So Ali says the path of discarded scrolls tells me it's more dangerous than it looks. That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Actually,
That could be a metaphor for all of the discarded
beef jerky, bacon down that path.
beef jerky, or perhaps different content motions that people have tried, promising the system that that they were sold would produce results, but it is all the same.
The path equals gurus. Do you like them? Do you not? Ooh, there's so many of those out there.
Yeah.
Telling me the uncooked bacon. Don't like it.
Oh, let's see. Anyone else? Yeah. So if it were me in this forked road, yeah, I'll go Robert Frost and the road less traveled.
I loved the choose your own adventure books when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Misty's talking about the books because you could just, okay, what do I do? And then even though it kind of come repetitive, it was challenging enough to get. I tried to recreate the story. I never could. I could never get to the same ending. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. But this kind of reminds me of this sort of thing where you just kind of, okay, do I have the freedom or the time today just to kind of choose my own adventure and see where it takes me? And is there any consequences for doing so? If there's not, do you want to try it? Do you want to do a proof of concept? Do you want to try something like a beta or an alpha test, if you will, with your community? Try something different, maybe as a freebie to see if it works. Mike calls that product market fit. I've been learning a lot from this marketing guy, but here we are.
I'm loving these prompts because, in real life, I'm going to guess Mike would have just taken the safe road, but like
he would have
he's
just
in creative mode.
He would have tried to
zone, and he's like, I'm going to try something new.
Yeah, bribe the donkey to take the ride. Be like, here, I'm going to sit on you. You're going to take me. You talk. It's got to be good. It's got to. Yeah. It can't be bad now. It's fine.
Yeah, hitch up a little cart, and then have the donkey pull the team. Pull our whole party in the cart.
And then you'll have to take those crates that you were standing on earlier in the cart because you have to.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I mean, perhaps they were still full of bottles of undeclared origin, and we could
protein shakes. Did they have those back then? I don't know. Did they put those in bottles?
I think you were lucky to not be malnourished back then. I think that was the benchmark. It was like, did you have food at all? Yeah.
The beer is what kept the ailments away from you, I think, or whatever they called it.
Well, it killed the bacteria from all the unclean water, right? That's why everybody drank back then.
Did that in the 1850s over in Britain, but that's another day to nerd out on for sure.
All right, Bo's got we got answers.
I think I would have just died.
Yeah, alcohol's not good for you, but apparently it's a lot of drinking in these stories in D&D, and I don't know why, but here we are. Here we are.
I think it allows people to release their inhibitions intellectually, and like they can pretend to drink into the point of being able to now make choices.
This is giving me the false courage of imagination that nobody expected to be wrong, but here we're being right. It's kind of nice.
Bo wants to create his own choose your own adventure with online forms and conditional logic. That's a way to bring that format into the modern world. I like that.
What are you waiting for? Put that in the
do it. Like with GPT, you could probably even make it interactive. Like you could have a chat. Combine that with Drew Donaldson's AI lead magnet session we did in the Hearth a few weeks back. Cool.
And then there's what is it, Zork back in the 70s? I think Todd's old enough to know this. I'm going to pick on him because he's
the original. Oh yeah, no, I actually know that reference.
Where you had to choose you choose north, south, east, or west, and the text prompts just come up and basically do this. And they say, okay, you're here. Where do you want to go next? Ooh, and then some poor AI version of logic goes, oh, you're dead because a monster killed you. Sorry, have a nice day. It's like the passive aggressive approach to D&D. It's kind of fun, 90s or 70s-ish. Can I run one by you, and then you're welcome to talk about whatever's coming up, Mike, if that's cool with you.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
So you and your crew, we've been through a dirt path winding through ancient farmland. Perhaps it's from one of the paths you chose. Maybe not. The fields are quiet, the sun dipping behind the trees. Someone in your group, maybe the bard, is whistling a jaunty tune that's totally oblivious, because that's what bards do. They have this naivety about them, and they're just singing tra-la-la-la-la, have fun. Your clothing is a bit worn. It's mismatched chainmail, faded surcoats, and leathered, scuffed from 100 shortcuts. You look like adventurers with more heart than coin. Your boots squish in the mud, and there's nobody paying attention to the eerie silence around you. Then, without warning, a light bursts through the clouds, brilliant and golden. This may seem familiar, But the sky splits like a blade. From the beam, a massive shadow descends, silhouette taller than the chapel tower in the last village, easily 3 times the height of the tallest oaks. You see curved horns, jagged wings, and a single glowing eye that seems to scan the land. A breath, slow, deep, heavy enough to stir the grass, rolls across the fields like thunder. The creature speaks almost in a whisper, but you hear it inside your heads. A truth hidden in shadows now walks beside you. This sounds familiar because we touched on this earlier, and then it pauses and waits. And I really want to get you thinking on a deeper level. What does this want? And maybe that creature is not the bad guy, but it's your community. People are trying to get in and ask questions and just kind of look stark in contrast. Like, I feel like I'm out of nowhere. I feel like I'm this, I don't know, this presence that's either big and ugly or pretty or whatever it is. Maybe it's a secret someone in the group. Maybe it's a skill that someone has. Maybe it's sensing something you don't even know yet. Or maybe is it truth of danger, gift, or burden? I don't know. But for me, if you're looking at the monster and kind of using this as a community analogy, will you speak up and ask what it's looking for? Will you search your team for hidden knowledge? Will I ask a friend? Will I dip into my pocket and get the beef jerky? Will I be the rhino and just ram into with the horn and hope for the best? Or will you run and regroup, try to reconnect and understand it? I think that's even, I didn't like these in corporate, these little groups. You know, you have these breakout sessions. That might be handy for these because it's more intended. It's closer knit discussions. You come back, regroup, and then have some collaborative problem solving activities under pressure or not. I guess it's kind of like producing that content, the newsletter, the email, the videos. You have those deadlines, the launching of the new brand or hosting those live AMAs. And you don't have all the answers. Just like early stage community building, just like the founders and the admin who are trying to figure out how to grow and flourish. And a lot of people, they don't have to be at 500K a month. They don't have to be $1 million communities. They just have to do the thing that you set out to be. So maybe these prompts are going to help everybody here today to kind of look at content in a different way and have the strength, lean into your weaknesses, and then be a little more vulnerable. Ask your community for help. And I think that'll help you resonate with your community and grow together. So here we are. I didn't really pause because I know we're running short of time, but I'll get people in the chat kind of figuring out some ideas and talking about
I also like the metaphor of like leaning into your weaknesses is the whole aim of the game in the D&D model anyway, because every character has a strength and weakness and the party covers those strengths. They create dovetailing experiences, right? Where everybody can work.
You can be like this fighter that has massive strength, but they're dumb as a rock. You know, that's how you play because you get a set amount of, I guess, values to set on those skills. And once you run out, you got to pick and choose. What's more important? What am I going to get done today? As Mike says, what's more important today to do? And you kind of translate that to, well, maybe I want to be smart and intelligent, but I'm small and kind of dainty. And I got to stand in the back of the group, just fireball all day. I don't know. So hopefully it gives you some inspiration, Mike and Misty, to make the D&D campaign with I think it's your daughter. And maybe Mike and I will be able to figure out a way to craft stories together and the rest in the hearth. If you're asking the community or wherever it is, start some sort of thread. I'll jump in and get creative with you. Absolutely.
And I will give a little bit of credence to this that for as much as you may think you are at the end of the creative line, so to speak, of like, oh, I've ran this metaphor as far as it'll go. No, you haven't until Elijah's gotten a grip on that metaphor.
Canadian fashion, I'll just say, hold my beer. And off we go.
And maple syrup, perhaps.
Yes. You need the energy. The sugar helps.
Or is it maple beer? Perhaps.
I don't know. It can be whatever you want.
Hard maple syrup.
Maple syrup in the coffee is better than you expect. I
have heard good things. I have heard really good things.
Like, come on, it's for everything. Just easy on the sugar, the blood sugar levels, right? Mike's a health. So
it's very good. It's much better on the blood, on the insulin spike.
I'm not a good influence on your health. I'm sorry, but it's a good time. It's a good time.
It is a very good time, and indeed, I think sometimes like to go back to the very beginning thing you said about like when people like hold themselves back a little bit from creativity, more often than not, like we impose our own false ceiling on, oh, I can't go above this, or I can't get louder than this, or I can't reach further than this concept in our creativity. And sometimes it helps having somebody like Elijah or a dungeon master in your own life who can help provide this stage or this context that gives your limiting factors in your own creativity permission to breach those walls that you build for yourself.
Yeah, a lot of it's in your head. It's kind of crazy. Once you get past that, it's like, well, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah. All of a sudden, yeah, you're out there and you're like, oh, now I'm on an adventure and I'm doing things and building things, and there you go. Let's see. It looks like Bo and Todd are having a moment back then. Love this. Yeah, and by the way, guys, if you guys want to carry these creative stories into the hearth, by all means, they don't have to end here. You can continue carrying those forward in our community for community builders in the hearth. That's awesome.
Jay was asking about tests earlier. I'm not sure if that's something we can take away or not, Mike, but
let me go back up and find the conversation.
I don't.
Yeah, with like more understanding on tests since they require complete follow through. Okay, so JD, are you referring to like testing concepts for creativity as like alpha products and beta testing, those sorts of things? Because that was the last memory I had, or in between two of the scenarios here, we were talking about testing these ideas. So if you can add a little more color to that, either in the chat or if you wanted, you could even, if you wanted to come on mic, you could come up on stage. Our studio does allow you to do that. But yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, Elijah, to speak to that, just to add some context while Jay's putting in his response here. But like, how would you test creative directions like this if you had an audience before you and you weren't sure yet what clicked? You know, you're in that early stage of trying to like branch just that little bit further, like folks who might be attending this right now.
Even if you had, if you didn't want to yet spend the money and commit on the Heartbeat, I would ask for a group chat, or maybe you allow people be in WhatsApp or an email, or even your social media content to see if people would be willing. There's many tools that you can have to have this small community, or spin up a Slack channel or Discord. If you're Slack may be less nerdy, but the nerds and gamers like the Discord. It's just kind of like the Hearth on a smaller scale. It channels and chats and voice things that you can get together. So I would ask a bunch of people to maybe pilot something. Hey, are you interested? Yeah, it's going to be a free play, but at least you'll have product tests. And you just get maybe 10 people together that have different levels of experience and kind of vaguely around your ideal customer for your Hearth community, and just start banging out ideas. Hey, this week we're going to try this. What do you think? And in exchange for this free cohort or this community, I need some testimonial, and actually give me the time, please, to give me feedback that's honest and earnest, so I can go and make this into a paid thing. I think that's how I would do it without having a complicated setup or a lot of expense to test the thing. I don't really know if it's going to work. And maybe
I piloted
Hearth. I don't know.
When I was launching my community on Heartbeat, I knew Heartbeat was the right platform. And this is like before I was beholden to the team in any sort of way. I was just a customer out there like you guys, building something that was a vision. I spun up an alpha community with a bunch of founding members. And I just went to my social feed, looked at the people who were my most regular engagers. I sent them a DM and I asked them to join a space. And I said, I'm going to let you be in here for free for this amount of time. I guarantee you it will all be busted, and we will be building it in the process, which is why it's free for this period of time. And let's just try some things. And I tried a couple different types of events. Turns out the group that I pulled in, infrequent accountability check-ins didn't work, so I increased the frequency. Now they're weekly. Or the different types of coaching I did weren't great, and I refined that to the current way we do things.
Or if you give a 50% discount on the thing that you're trying, use like, I don't really know if this works, but I'd love a few bucks to kind of pay for all the expenses and just kind of break even. And maybe that's the thing you do. Here, try this. And a lot of times, like in the video game industry, they roll out partially broken stuff because they want a community to test things. So kind of same idea. Again, back to my nerdisms, but there's a lot of different ideas that you can kind of take that into a small scale, start it, and then once you know, okay, there's some signs that this might work, and then maybe even directly ask them, how much would you pay per month for this? or for a fee, and then you kind of get an average and kind of go, okay, well, here we try it, because there's no real answers. And pricing things in business, it's kind of that creative journey.
The rules are made up and the points don't matter, I believe. Is
Nobody
how it
knows
goes,
what
right?
they're doing. Some people just pretend they do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you're just wanting to test your creative voice with your existing audience, like a lot of email programs offer A/B testing, so you could send out the same newsletter, but change your voice, change your your kind of your branding or whatever, how you're talking, be more creative in one of them, and see, do you get more clicks on your link? Do you get check all the tests? We do have Jay ready to pop in and elaborate a little more on his question.
Cool. Sure.
Yeah, come on up, Jay. Here we are. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, thanks, guys. You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can.
Yeah, I'm looking to go to high net worth clients, very high net worth, and I've got a couple programs that I've been toying with launching that will go well, but I have to decide which to go with first. And the classic Russell Brunson, and we hear it from others too now, hook, story, offer. And so for me, the offer question becomes the thing, because I feel like it's time to just say, this is the program, this is the training, this is the live, this is the local, this is. It seems to me the best thing to do is dive in and do it, and then try a different price. But every time I hear test, what goes through my mind is, but I'm going to have to put the offer together, be prepared to deliver on it, get it out to a potential audience, handle the responses, coordinate delivering, decide whether that ties over into building a list, adding them to a community, doing more follow-ups, or saying this is a one-time event, this is a 3-week, once-a-week event, and then terminate. It went well, we learned, we'll expand. It didn't go well, we'll readjust. The commitment to follow through and the terminate parts are the parts that have held me back from doing any of that.
It's like fostering a pet. You put in the work and then you let them go. It sucks. It's hard, but you got to do it if you want to do it. And I think just coming up with an arbitrary time. Okay, how long does this need to last? 6 weeks? 3 months? This is going to be a 90-day program. We're going to try it out. Cut it. Done. And if you don't like the effort, maybe there's a way to use the AI tools that are out there, or whatever it may be that's not expensive, or hire somebody to do some of the admin work to kind of track some of this stuff if you have the means. Because it sounds like 1 year ahead, 3, it's going to be a lot of work, and I don't know when this is going to be the end. And just to be absolutely blunt, Jay, just do it. If you have the time, you have the time. If you don't, you don't. And that'll be your deciding factor.
Yeah, the most important thing that's often tricky is like the speed to learning.
Yeah,
is part of it too, right?
Right.
So it's this. How long does it take you to get to learning from your to a learning outcome from your test? If your test is designed so that you can't glean your outcome for a year, your ability to iterate through improvements is extremely slow. And so the trick here would then be, can you shorten this test to get either a smaller piece of that whole validated in a chunk to get the speed to learning much more quicker? Then you can iterate through versions of this, whether it's different creative directions, different offer structures, etc.
Well, that's exactly what I'm thinking. When Elijah, you said if you have the time, that is going to be totally dictated by how well it's paying off, efficiency and profit-wise. And if it's not going well, I just got into a black hole of time.
If I may, Jay, you either have the time or you don't. If you want to try it, try it. If not, you're going to be worried about all these things that aren't happening yet. And that'll stop you from ever doing it, if I may.
I don't understand what you mean.
So you said it
too about wait lists.
Yeah.
So have you thought about doing a wait list, and then
That
you
could
can
be an
get
option.
people to pay money to say I'm interested. They already opened their wallets, and you can say we're going to start on this day if we have this number of people. Otherwise, I'll refund you. And if you get enough interest, then you have a period of time to kind of start creating it before they get in.
And then you'll feel your time's worth it.
Well, these are the two things that I've been looking at. Mike, what you said about shortening it, what about a one-time event? and see how
There you
that
go.
goes. Just
That's
test.
as short as
And
it gets. Yeah, you can get as long as you have a measurable outcome right after that event, and whether it's I'm tracking attendance, I'm tracking feedback, like asking them to grade it 1 to 10, how happy were they? Whatever measurable outcome you want on the end, that's a way to do it and keep it short, quick, and just do it.
Yeah.
And yes, or Misty's very true. We did just launch wait lists at Heartbeat, which you don't even have to build the thing in order to sell the thing. You can pre-sell the thing, and then if there's like, I know I need to get 10 people in order for this to be worth building it, because I have to hire
Absolutely.
somebody to help me build it, right? You get 7, you say, hey guys, thanks so much for your interest. We're going to go a different direction with this. I'm going to refund the waitlist fee to these 7 people. They're out nothing. You're out nothing. Everybody goes home, right? And then you can change the offer and come back again. You go back to those 7 people first and say, hey, since you bet on this first one, I got this really special waitlist price for you guys to come in for offer version 2 that you come up with as a revision.
Use your, use your
great
event
ideas.
to launch your wait list. Do an event. You get enough people at the end, pitch your wait list. Say, I'm thinking about doing this, XYZ, whatever.
Yeah. Pre-sell.
And,
Great idea.
Yeah, if you're interested, let me know and I'll start creating it.
so how do I do that in a way that I don't risk, if there's not enough people by a certain date, I look like I don't have anything of value to offer my community?
I don't understand, if I may, Jay. There's a lot of I'm not going to succeed, and I think that's what's stopping you from doing it. If I can challenge your mindset for a moment.
Well, my challenge is I'm working with the very high net worth community. I have hundreds of contacts on LinkedIn. They're all a small, tightly knit community. For me to go out and say, this is what I'm going to do, first 10 people, but then only 7 show up and it's been a month, I kind of didn't make a good first impression on this powerful, tightly knit community.
Who says you didn't make a good first impression?
I mean,
Well,
you
that's
did
why
for
I
those
need
7
to-
people. You did for those
Yeah.
7 people, I think is the
Yeah.
argument.
And I
so
Better
maybe
than
then,
0.
and everybody
maybe
that's
then you
high net worth-
modify. You could take what you were originally trying to do, and if 10 was your minimum viable to make it cost effective, have a backup plan pre-thought up of like, oh, I'm going to say I need to get to 10. I know I can make it work with 7 if in my head, instead of hiring out step A, B, C, I only hire out step A, and
Interesting.
I do B and C myself.
Yeah.
Right?
that's
You
great
create a
idea.
triage.
Brainstorm
Right?
a fallback product too. If
Sure.
you need to.
Okay, guys, let me
hey,
ask
you
this.
guys were actually interested
Yeah.
in this, but I'm not going to be able to offer it. But I
Sure.
have this other thing that
Lots
I
of
can
great
still
ideas.
offer you.
I had an idea. Let me ask this last question, please. In order to solve this, what I tried was I put something out. I made the mistake of saying it's 2 hours, $2,400, right on the LinkedIn post. But I said every time I get a group of 10, I'll do another session. Let's see if you want to join. I'll let you know when the next 10 is assembled for another session. Does that sound viable?
I mean, you know your audience really well. It seems like structurally that's a reasonable way to go about it.
If you do it
but
as
part
a
of
wait list, you would just wait and create the event after
yeah,
after you get your 10.
Unfortunately, we don't have the absolute certainty that it's going to work or it's not. And some people choose to leap and take that leap of faith and show up and build online and transparently. And others are kind of timid because it's that perception on social that people are scared of. So if you can find the
thing-
balance between the two, I think you'd be set. Yeah.
yeah. And one thing to remember is nobody will remember a failed offer launch as much as you do. Like no one cares. the best possible gift is that no one responds because it disappears in the feed, because the feed moves on, right? And the world moves on and your life moves on. And
You're
then you
right.
come up with the next offer. When that one hits, everyone's like, overnight success story.
If people are so
Except they
busy,
didn't see all the failures that were required to iterate your
Absolutely.
way to that success.
You have to take
know?
your emotion out of it and realize that every single thing you put out there is a learning opportunity so that you can improve your next offer. So if you're just thinking of it straight science, right, of like, or numbers, statistics, right, where it's like, okay, this is what I did, this is how many people were interested, this is my conversion rate, like how can I improve that conversion rate next time? What did they like? What did they not like? Can I survey them and find out? You know, just think of it as statistics and how to keep improving my stats.
and
And,
use
our,
that-
our chat friends are offering suggestions
Sure.
too.
Absolutely.
So
Even
Jay,
that,
you'll be able to read even more. of
even
them.
that opportunity, you get 7 out of 10. You can use it as a marketing tool later. Okay, this is the pilot. This is what I tried. This is what I learned. This is how I'm growing. And it might actually be better serve to the high net worth individuals because they always push and grow and try new things. So perhaps that's a kind of a play that you can try. I don't know, just ideas for
There
you.
we go. Yeah, I'm sure we flooded you
are
with more
over
ideas than
time
you
right
could
now.
act on them. But yeah, I agree. Jay,
Sounds
thank you
cool.
for bringing a question on stage. Thank you for
Yeah, this
showing
was
up
great.
for bringing this to
This
us.
was
great. Yes.
Props to your courage and keep us posted.
Yeah.
If you're not in the Hearth, please pop in there and share the things that you're building. You can humble brag about your waitlist launch or whatever offer you choose to do. And we'll cheer you on
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
do have a
guys.
channel for that. For I think it's called Shameless Plug.
Yeah.
We do. We have a shameless
So,
plug
go
channel
plug
in the
it.
Hearth. There you
Yes.
go.
Yeah, or ask away in the community. A lot of people like to chime in just like they did in the chat. So hopefully give you some fodder and hopefully give you some oomph to get it out there, make things happen.
There you go. So I think what I'll do then, Elijah, I think I want to try to put a little bookend on this. What's one thought you want people to leave this creative session with, just to make sure we give them a good bookend?
Don't be afraid to try.
Don't be afraid to try. That's the final. That's what this is all about. Like giving our brains and our creative space permission to not just do the thing, but to do the thing in ways that we may not originally have been comfortable trying to do. I really appreciate that message, Elijah. And one thing I will share here is that if you guys are thinking about doing the thing as far as building a community, I want to give you a thank you for sticking around with us this whole time. So I'm putting up on screen right now, we're offering the Heartbeat platform, either the starter or growth tier, for half off for the next 3 months if you're brand new to the platform. If you haven't done a trial yet, if you sign up for a trial using heartbeat.chat/Elijah before midnight on Friday the 23rd, Eastern time, midnight, you will be able to take advantage of this offer, and that involves waitlists, discussions, courses, documents, events, etc. Just for 3 months, just to get you started. It gives you a chance to just take a breath, build, and then come forward with something really, hopefully creative, amazing, and a story much akin to what Elijah was offering to us. So that's heartbeat.chat/Elijah. And Elijah, what else do you want to share as far as how people can reach you, get in touch with you, or do more work with you if they're interested?
I've spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, but those will be in the live event. I'm sure the profile. I saw. Thanks for the connect, Jay. Appreciate that much. And having some discussions is always something cool. I'm in the Hearth with the community, the free community for Heartbeat. Hang out there for sure, and hopefully we'll be able to convince somebody that has power to do these creative sessions. Maybe an interest group. I'm going to pray for it. We'll see what happens. And yourpodcastsidekick.com is evolving into something new. It might be cool to hang out, get some creative ideas. And of course, I have a newsletter on LinkedIn that just kind of leans into people's storytelling and doing their thing as business owners, mostly podcasts, but still cool to learn from the learnings and the struggles and the I should have done this. It might help translate into your community aspirations as well.
Very
There's a
cool.
lot. Hope you got that,
So
Mike.
yeah, that's good. If you guys basically the hub for Elijah is his LinkedIn profile. It's a great starting place. LinkedIn.com/in/Elijah-Drown. If you can, like, we have these names at the bottom of the screen. If you look right underneath Elijah's name, you can see his profile link right there.
Todd, if you put your
we're gonna-
bifocals on a little bit lower, you'll be able to see it, buddy. It's small.
I'm actually going to try to, I'm going to put that right into the chat here so that folks can see it. There you go. You can now click that hyperlink and go visit Elijah's profile, connect with him, check out his LinkedIn profile, or visit yourpodcastsidekick.com. Awesome. So we are 6 minutes over the chat, but I'm really glad everybody who's stuck around with us to get this. If there are additional questions, whether Jay was on stage, Ali, Bo, Todd, everyone who was in the chat, if you have more questions, let's continue this conversation in the Hearth. So Elijah's in there actively, as is Misty, as is the team, as a general from Heartbeat. Post your questions and ask the community at Mention Elijah is a great way to pull him into it, or anybody else that you want to. And it's a great forum to just carry conversations on at length. I think that would be extremely fruitful for all of us. Plus, then everybody else can learn from your questions too, because if you've got a question, there's probably 10 people who have the same one that didn't ask it. So as always, guys, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for showing up. That was the hard part, showing up and learning here. We have additional tutorials coming on down the pipeline. There is one coming up June 4th, which is the psychology of funnel building, featuring another preferred partner called The Way How, an agency that does HubSpot and growth marketing services. If you haven't RSVP'd for that, please do. But those are all on the calendar in the Hearth. So great. I think we're just about there. So what we'll do is we'll wrap up the live for today. Elijah will meet backstage afterwards. But as always, thank you guys so much for attending. Appreciate everybody who showed up and brought their creative juices and energy to this story. Thank you all so
Yes.
much.
A lot of fun.
was really
Thank
fun.
you, everyone.
We'll see y'all next time.